Okay, so let's continue from where we stopped. And when you do project, some people have it their own way how they do workflow. And normal for me, I created terrain first, add some big pieces, and ecosystem and some small more detailed grass next, and atmosphere as usual last, and water before atmosphere, liquid. And the reason why, because all of this from my own experience, some of them take more and more CPU time, and what's happening, it's a little bit slow down. So if you start working on atmosphere on the beginning, sometimes it maybe will become on your performance and you will suffer through your whole workflow, just slow reactions. Other things also, if you notice, we create a huge city very fast. It's using already 6 million polygons, and actual application handle very good with all this amount of polygons. Let's create distance mountain. Just create one mountain, increase a bit, scale that way, so we put it one mountain right here. Okay, we can increasing. If you want, just hide the backgrounds. Let's create another mountain. Do the same way, increasing that way. So that way we have a two kind of interlapse mountains. Maybe just this way. At a distance, let's select both those mountains and go ahead, load it, just any material you like it. So I'll just go around here. Let's find some interesting material. Okay, let's go ahead, preview our image. Okay, so we have it our city, we have it mountains. Let's go to matching our ground. Okay, let's build right now, right up front, what I want to do. If you see in an image, we have it kind of staying on a hill, on a mountain right here. So I want to build a little bit more interesting look just up front at this point. So what I like to do, create terrain. Take this terrain, bring it closer to the camera. And next, just tilt it a little bit. So I don't want to edit. If you need, you can scale slightly. So at this point, you can create in a way as your creativity will work. Again, I won't use all mountain. What I will do, I'll right here in the middle, I'll cut it and merge them together. But I maybe want to use something more interesting on this point. So let's go right here and let's go to add. I'll take a grass field from our first mega pack. Also, one thing till we here, let me show you one tip. So when we're creating, and you notice sometimes you'll have this texture kind of looking funny, and most time this will happen when you're using image as your texture. Go to edit your material in an edit function for the bumps, and be sure right here you enable interpolation type. What this does, it will smooth and will have it a little bit nicer looking, but will actually decrease after this even more. So now let's go next to add ecosystem. General, we'll add plant. We'll just select dry weed. Click OK. Let's click populating. So it does populate a little bit there. I want increase density. I want drop scale down. Okay. Also, other things also, what I want to do here, it is go ahead. One thing, if you notice, when you add ecosystem layer, your layer below this will always reset to 1. So after when you add ecosystem, let's go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. Let's click OK. Here's our kind of looking nice mountain. One thing, let's move a little bit away so we don't cover too much of our image. and maybe, you know what, add a couple of rocks. Let's go take one rock. And you know what, let's just hold down Alt key, duplicate the rock, a little bit rotate, scale down, just place right here. Let's go select these two rocks and reloading, just go in our epic and we have a nice set of the rocks here. So okay, rock. So you know what, this probably even will look very nice on replace this terrain as well. So we'll have a nice smooth look. Okay, ready to render and preview. Here's our city and kind of grass with rocks we build. So we'll integrate this one with other scenery as well. Okay, now we're ready for our HDRI. So to do this, we'll go to Atmosphere Editor, and we have this option called Environmental Mapping. So let's enable this, and now we're ready to load our HDRI image. So here what we pre-created. One thing you will notice, it's look much darker than inside Photoshop when we did it. Also, let's apply to yes here and apply yes, so we'll have it use this one. It's look quite a bit darker. So what we're going to do, it is disable ignore atmosphere mapping, because I want my atmosphere a little bit affecting. I'll show you in a second. And we can pop up exposure higher, so we'll match a little bit more lighting this was before. Also now we go ahead to light, and normally it's already set to ambient, so it will look very lighting will produce from here. You can, if you want to, go ahead and introduce more sun if you want more contrast, but to be more accurate to your image, you probably want to keep it a little bit down on ambient. Again, let's pop up a little bit brighter this way. Okay. Also, you can manipulate with a fog and a haze to see how clearly it's need to go. So let's, for example, increase fog. A bit add on a haze. And again, if you start looking on an image, okay, it does have a very nice ambient light, so overall house highlighting and everything, but it's a little bit brighter, and we can control this our image after. But if you want inside, you can go ahead and increase a bit more on the brightness, so it will be a little bit this way, or go ahead inside effects and increase exposure that way. Okay, one only big minus to use the environmental, you don't have this beautiful clouds. But if you remember how we did it, set extension with a sky replacement, so you can also add additional skies after to have it even more impact for you. So we set OK on this one. Let's preview our image. Here we have a very nice distance fog with the mountains and city we were just populating. You can notice how it's look a little bit out of focus and a nice grass. Okay, couple things. Let's modify, go to our ground and just replace with imagine, so we don't have a problem with colors. Or if you wanted other suggestion, let's go ahead and go and select our city. And just these corners will just expand, so we can cover those corners right here and expand here, so we can kind of match our scenery. Okay, let me adjust a little bit atmosphere. So maybe a little bit less, give it a little bit more sharper look on this. And again, if you want it, you can add sunlight, but one thing again, when you add more sunlight, be sure your light is set on the right position where you have your original image. For example, this is about 2 o'clock when we took this image, so it's located about this here. Okay, and I think we're ready, so let's go select final. If you do animation, be sure you have it broadcast list quality. Okay, I'll just save it also on the broadcast right now. And because we did one still, I want to do this still as well for here. I'll just have it 640 by 400. Okay, and let's render. Okay, so here we have it. Our renders start coming, and you can see they already foreground look very nice, and we can start bending so we can have it more older look. One thing I noticed right in the back, and I don't kind of like it, so I may be fixed right now so we don't spend time on finish rendering this. This is parks is kind of look empty, so let's go ahead and add trees to that place. So I cancel our rendering. Let's save it again before modifying. We'll go to now click on our cube, which is our city. Okay, let's open this way, and right here we go ahead above the mouse, click on ecosystem, so we'll add one more, add plant. Let's go to the tree, and we'll just add some cherry tree. Click OK. Again, we'll do same things. We'll go to the density, enable variable density, go to edit function. Okay, we'll add texture. Go ahead, let's load it, and I want to actually distribute it on the same place where the grass, so click open. One thing, if you remember, it does populate it on a white spaces, so you have two choices. You can go ahead, include a filter, or just click right here if you need inversed. Click OK. We select object parametric. Go here, and let's populate. You can see it will populate it in those squares for us. So a couple things, we can increase density and just put it scaling down as well. Okay, let's click OK. One thing I want just right now, it's a preview. So I want to very fast see that our trees did render in those areas. Okay, we'll maybe just go ahead and make even density higher. Too big. Okay, let's do this with shrink. Let's make it a bit smaller on the edges. And other very nice things to do is change a little bit colors so the trees look different. We always can go to our material tab, go ahead down to the cherry tree, to our material, double time click. So we'll open editor. We'll go ahead, right click and select edit function. Inside edit function, we'll just go ahead, select object center. Let's go add noise, connect noise to this one, add colors mapping, and we'll just go ahead, select something dry grass looking. Maybe just want to replace this one with a darker green. Okay, and let's add render, connect here. There you go. What is that? It will depend on the size of object location will change it leaves, so it will overlay them a little bit with a different color, so it will give it all this variety in our image we have before. Okay, we're ready. And again, you know, these images look really nice. If you want to more rely on the environmental map, we can just decrease, go more to ambient light, so it will set as you want it. Again, sunlight, if you want a little bit beautification, a bit higher contrast. So we'll go here. We're ready. Okay, and let's render one more time. Okay, here we have our finished image. You can see we have a very nice foreground with rocks which will go replace. We added trees in our parks, and one thing only what I don't like in this image, it is sharp line right here, and it's easy to fix, so we can go ahead, you know, close it. We'll go to our we'll go to our cube, click right there. All what we need to do is when building is selected, we'll go ahead and click populate. And because we do have with the density decay, what is happening right now, right here by the mountains, actually start kind of disappearing when they come closer. So if you notice, we don't have a buildings going right in that point. Okay. Also, till I'm here, let me replace this with the trees, so we have the correct name. Okay. Let's go click on populator. Our buildings. And also one thing I want to do is atmosphere editor fog. I want just slightly increase. I want to have it dark color for a fog, so it's create, give it a little bit more depth inside there. Again, with all the settings, you can spend literally hours and days, just play around and try preset in the way you like it. Here's our buildings. Some trees was growing there. This is actually very nice old decayed city became, you know, maybe abandoned after something happened. Okay, let's go render now. Okay, here is our final image. You can see the edge look much better, so it's not that sharp as before. Here with our trees, here's our city. Okay, let's go save this image. Okay, and we call this backdrop, or whatever you like it. Okay, and now we're ready to go to our After Effects, and let's go work in this one as well. So go ahead and import our image. Go ahead and drop just up front of here. If the image is a little bit bigger, so we'll go ahead and scale. Okay. Go ahead and transform. I'll go to opacity, reduce a little bit. You can preview where we need to cut off. And again, here's another example what we can do. We can go ahead, select pan tool, and we have a person right here. So let's go very rough, just going around him. Oops. So we'll go right, maybe around here. I just want to have a little bit more grass, so we can view how we can modify that. Okay. Next, let's go to our mask, and we'll just go double time click M to expand our mask. Can increase blending, also transparency, and set opacity back to 100. Okay, you remember in other tutorials we look how we can integrate it better with our mask at this point right here, but you can see the idea. What I want to show you is how we can add a little bit nice texture by removing feathering, for example. Actually add the person at this point is what we're going to do. We do it till we're here anyway. We'll add a bit more blending. Let's so the trees blend better this way. We'll go ahead, duplicate, put it up front, zoom in, and we'll just mask the person itself. Okay. Again, if you want soft curve, you just go ahead, click and drag it a little bit, adjust, so you can have it round, nice curve. I'm doing just very fast, going around and masking out. Okay. Here we have a nicer mask over him. And here's our image that we just have it extended. Also extend on a hill, a bit right here, and a bit sharper him, and this is new kind of distort city. And the same things can be applied if you have an animation file, AVI, just replace JPEG. Same technique can be applied to extend. And actually, even you just have it still, you can still on a stills to do can animate them. So let's select all of them, hold down shift, so we can start kind of adjusting, just a little bit, increase them in size. Okay, let's go to compare, new camera. Okay, we'll go ahead and just leave it 50. There's default, so we have right here. We'll enable those 3D. Okay, at this point we'll go ahead and view camera 1. Okay, let's click our camera tool, just rotate slightly this way. Okay, go ahead to camera options, and okay, I want to go ahead and enable position. Okay, we'll move more to about maybe 10 seconds and slightly rotating this way. There we go. Oh, we did animate a little bit our camera, so even with a just simple image we can still animate a little bit, so it's had some motion to that. Okay, thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please come visit us on the web at www.geekatplay.com.